Man, you guys look good. I don't think I've ever gone to a banquet or luncheon where so many hot people are in the same room. You guys, one of the speeches I said, well, when I get nervous at this thing, and I just, Stan said, just visualize everybody naked. That's what he does when he walks into class. But you guys look so amazing. I don't even have to put my naked eyes on. So I'm going to shut up, or I'm going to go into some comedy. I'm going to let Stan take over here real briefly, and then we're going to do a Pledge of Allegiance and invocation, let you guys grub up, and then we'll come back out here when we're about done eating. So thank you, welcome.
Well, thank you so much, April. It is a great pleasure to welcome all of you here to the beautiful campus of Wichita State University at the Marcus Welcome Center. It's a great opportunity for us to showcase the things that are happening here, and it's quite a development project we have going on at the moment, isn't it? This has been a partnership that we've had for now, oh my goodness, is it 11, 12 years that we've been doing with the Lifetime Achievement Award. And it's a wonderful thing when Rod Stewart, who unfortunately was not able to be with us today, he had other commitments, but when Rod was the one who came up with that idea. And that was just a fantastic idea to honor people in the Wichita community who have really made an impact. Not just people who may have developed a lot or made a lot of money in real estate, but people who have transformed lives in our community. And today's honoree is certainly somebody for whom that is true. And so we've been very pleased at the university to partner with the Kansas CCIM chapter in providing this award. And so we're thankful that you're here today, and we're glad to participate. And so I think, April, you were going to give the invocation for us?
I'm going to do the pledge.
Okay.
And then Ray Wynn,
okay,
his partner, is going to give the invocation.
Excellent. So
can we all stand for the... So, there's always some little snafu when you put on an event. We don't have a flag. So I want you to look at Ray because she's easy on the eyes. Pretend that she is the flag, and we'll get through this thing, okay? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we just thank you, God, for this day. God, we thank you for the sunshine. God, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to come and celebrate and support each other. God, we thank you for the ability and the opportunity we have to elevate Wichita through commercial real estate, God, through their networks, God, through everything that you've given us and blessed us with. So we just thank you for that. God, we just pray right now that you just bless this food. God, let it give us the nourishment and energy we need, God, to just do the things that we know that we can do and should do. And we just thank you. We give you all the praise, the honor, and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please enjoy your lunch. We'll continue with the program shortly.
I know so many people in this room over almost 20 years of doing real estate that I forget some of you don't know me. So I'm April Wynn with Winning Investment Solutions, and I'm the 2017 and president of the Kansas CCM chapter. And because I've had so much fun being president and speaking, I've decided to double down and be 2018 president as well. So hope you guys support that and we've got a fantastic calendar of events for 2018. We've got some new, fresh ideas and events coming up that I'm super, uber excited about. So, by the way, since I hate to toot my own horn, but since nobody else will toot it, I'm gonna toot away. I am the first female president of the Kansas CCM chapter, and thank you. It's pretty dang cool, because Jerry Jones can testify, and I say that Jerry Jones with Jones Development Group saved me from a life of telemarketing, and saw something in me, I don't know what it was, back in 1999, and just enjoyed a really long, lovely career with that company. Where am I going with that? Anyway, so this will crack you up. It cracks me up. I don't know if it'll crack you up, but I was looking at a property in Clinton, Missouri, and went into a Hallmark store that was owned by a franchisee. And Tyler Napodi, I don't know if he's in the room today, but he had warned me about this thing. He's like, man, you were going to walk into the store, and he's like, I just can't wait to hear your reaction. And he didn't tell me anything. Walked into the store. I have never seen so much inventory in my entire life. I mean, I thought I was in the freaking Twilight Zone. There were wormhole things when just, I mean, floor to ceiling. It's like, holy crap. Anyway, so you couldn't buy anything because everything was locked up, and you couldn't yell across the store to go, can somebody help me? But we did find something because we needed a gift. So I'm up there at the counter, her 100-year-old mother, and nothing against people that are 100 years, but it was funny watching her try to count back $100 and change. I saw this pen. Oh my God, I fell in love with it. And here's the beauty, okay? Doesn't matter whether you like Donald Trump or you freaking hate his guts. I mean, he's comical, he's crazy and bizarre. So I saw this pen, and so I want to share this with you. So when I said, oh, I'm the first female president, you'll get a kick out of this. I hope the sound works on this.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.
This really is shit he said. Hold on, there's like 8 of them.
Look, I'm really rich. I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. I swear.
That is his hair. I've watched a show on it.
I love China. I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China.
Isn't that fantastic?
Our leaders are stupid. Our politicians are stupid. We will have so much winning if I get elected that you may get bored with winning.
You can find this little guy on Amazon for $15, and I think this. I just love this pen. So let's start. So we're going to recognize some special guests. You know, such a fabulous industry. You people in this business are so amazing. We have our first honoree, special guest is Mr. George Laham. He's going to get an introduction, but he needs no introduction because he is famous in his own eyes. No, I'm just kidding. So we are very honored to have you here and present the award to you here later on in the program. We have Sheila Rumsey with the South Central Kansas, the Realtor Association. Where's Sheila? You want to pop your hand up? She's been awesome. She's really stepped in this past year and had some big shoes to fill, and you're filling them well. So. We made some phone calls yesterday to see if we could, any of our councilmen and our mayor was going to join us, but everybody had obligations. Jeff? James Clendenin, I'm so sorry. We really haven't connected, and I apologize for that. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. Have I missed any? Patrick Ahern doesn't count as a VIP. Have I missed anybody else? Colby Sandlian is here, and Vicki Hunt, who have been just amazing supporters of the chapter in a lot of different ways. Vicki, I saw you here, and Colby, I saw you too, so if you don't know who they are, hopefully they'll raise their hand. Thank you. There's Colby. Vicki, where are you at? Oh, there you are. You're back there on the wall. WSU, obviously we have Dr. Longhofer. He's amazing part of our board of directors, and we just appreciate everything that he does to help the chapter. Our newest CCIM is Mr. Will Harmon. He's with Keller Williams. He's owned businesses and has really just aggressively went after the designation, and we're really proud to have you here and honor you as well. We're going to have a reception, I think it's January 29th, 31st, thank you. There's a calendar of events. If you like paper copies, grab that on your way out the door. But Lindsay with New Marketing has, everything is on our Facebook page. And we're just simply ksccim.com. Everything is updated. And if we change dates, we do that immediately as we make those decisions. So I want to take just a moment and recognize the Platinum sponsors in the room. You guys are fantastic. I don't know what more I could say. We're going to elevate this chapter in 2018. We've already done that. We do that every year, but I really think 2018 is going to be a fantastic year for the Kansas CCIM chapter, and we're going to do some things that we just have never done before. It's time to stop rinsing and repeating and really getting creative and using the money that we have in the funds that you guys are writing your checks for to do some really cool stuff. So if you're a platinum sponsor, would you please stand? We'll just call out everybody. I'm not going to probably call you by name because there's too many. And then, we'll give a little round of applause, and then you could be seated. So Adams Jones Law Firm, BKD LLP CPAs and Advisors, Commerce Bank, Fidelity Bank, HGH Investments, InSite Real Estate Group, Kansas Paving, who was a new sponsor this year, Kansas Secured Title, Caw Valley Engineering, Luminous Neon, Mahaney Roofing Company, Morris Lang, Evans Brock, and Kennedy Chartered, Security First Title, Slauson Real Estate Company, Southwest National Bank, Spangenberg Phillips Tice Architecture, Westar Energy, the Wichita Business Journal, and Winning Investment Solutions, Inc. Thank you guys, you're phenomenal. Thank you for your support and financially and coming to the events. And if you're sitting at a table with one of the sponsors, make sure that you thank them because they're the reason we can do this stuff. I want to now just take a moment and recognize the board of directors. We have such a strong board of directors. We've had people that have been on this board since 1820. So we've got the history, we've got just awesome brain power, and these are people that just really, they invest their time and energy and their own personal resources sometimes to come to these events and put on these events. And if you've ever put on an event, it's a lot of work and it requires a really strong team that knows how to communicate. So I am very privileged to not only count these people as colleagues, but also as friends and mentors. So Daryl Krotz, Scott Harper, David Lay, Mike Loveland, Rod Stewart, Jad Munn, Randy Furstenberg, Stan Longhofer, Kristen Stang, Bree Mabey, and Patrick Ahern. So, and all those companies that these guys work for, thank you for allowing these people to take their time and to work on this stuff, because we know in some cases you're writing their paycheck. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, scholarships. Mr. Lay, this is your time to shine. This is your baby. And thanks for taking it on, so I don't have to.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate this. The CCIM Institute is an education-based organization, and the Kansas CCIM chapter has always been trying to try and raise the level of education. The scholarships we give help raise that level of education to our members. We do that to afford them to go out and take these classes that we just really can't have in this market area in which we operate in. These are honor scholarships. It's an honor to receive them. So let's go ahead with that. We have a number of highly qualified candidates this year, and let's go ahead and start. Please, if you're here, please come to the front. I'd like to take some photos. Ryan Al-Sharieh with J.P. Weigand. You're receiving the Jack Hunt CCIM scholarship. It's an endowed scholarship for $2,000.
Wow. Good job, buddy.
Ben Gartner. Ben?
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're receiving the Colby Sandlian endowed scholarship. That's for $1,000.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That man, you take that man, over there.
Could we have you line up here so we could take a picture of all of you?
Okay, sure.
See.
Sure.
Next recipient, Trent Garmin. Trent? Here we go. Here we go. Very good.
They look like they could be brothers. You guys brothers?
Congratulations. You're receiving $1,000 scholarship from the Kansas CCIM chapter. Jeff Walenta. Jeff, I saw you here earlier. Jeff, here we go. Jeff, congratulations. You're receiving $1,000 scholarship well. Matt Hiatt. Matt Hiatt. Matt? We have Matt? Here we go.
I'm seeing a theme here. Do we have any single? Are you guys single or no? Okay. I'm off the market. Sorry.
Congratulations. You are a recipient of a $1,000 scholarship from the Kansas CCIM chapter as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Congrats.
And Blake Heiman. Blake Heiman.
This thing
Blake?
is rigged, David.
It is rigged.
What is going on? We have more
rig it
females
every
in
year.
this room than we have ever had.
Thank you.
Congrats.
You are receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Kansas CCIM chapter as well. This is our 2017 scholarship recipients. Please use your scholarships. Go out there, take the class, take the education, and continue on your path to the pin. It's important. And others in the room, please apply. We'd like to try and do this. We'd like to see more people up here. This is a great avenue to the pin.
Can
So
I jump in
congratulations.
here real quick? Sorry, David. If you're a CCIM designee, would you just raise your hand? I want these guys to see how many people have gone through this program successfully. There's nothing to be afraid of. Okay? Thank you.
We actually have one other scholarship that we want to announce here today. It's not being awarded, but all of the scholarships that we just mentioned just now, those are for practicing professionals to go on and earn their CCIM designation. But many of you may remember back in 2010 when one of our past lifetime recipient honorees, Steve Clark, was making his presentation here in this room and talking about what it meant to him. He announced at that time that he would be endowing a scholarship at Wichita State University in honor of his father, Layman Clark, and the Kansas CCIM chapter. And so every year we try and make sure at this event to introduce and announce who the recipient of that scholarship is here for pursuing their education at Wichita State University. And this year's recipient of the Layman Clark Kansas CCIM chapter scholarship is Glenn Cox. I think Glenn is here today. Glenn, are you here? Yes, back here. So. The one major characteristic that Steve really wanted to have as a central thing to the students that receive that scholarship is that they have a demonstrated interest in pursuing a career in commercial real estate. And we've been blessed with a number of students over the years, and Glenn's only the most recent one, who not only has indicated a demonstrated interest, but they're actively pursuing that career already. And so we're very pleased to have that. And with that, I think it is time for us to move on. April, do you want to say a comment?
Nope, no comment necessary. I think we're ready just to
All right.
get on with the meat of the program.
Well, it is now time then that we get to our main event, the presentation of the Lifetime Achievement Award. And to introduce our honoree today, we have one of our past Lifetime Achievement Award recipients. I believe it was 2008, Nestor, that you and your brother Michael received that award together. And it was a tremendously well-deserved honor for both of you. And it is my great pleasure then to have you come and introduce the newest member of this Lifetime Achievement Award Club, if you will.
Thank you, Stan. What a privilege it is for me to have the opportunity to have me introduce George Laham. This guy is an amazing, amazing gentleman. And by the way, he is the youngest recipient in the history of this award.
About 20 years.
At least that. In any event, George graduated from Kansas University in 1985. Immediately upon graduation, decided to come back and pursue his dream of real estate, commercial real estate. And J.P. Weigand was fortunate enough to have him decide that this is the direction he wanted to go. And so he joined J.P. Weigand in 1986. I can remember my brother saying to me after he was interviewed, "Nestor, do you really think he's old enough to have graduated from college?" Because George looked like he was about 16 at that time. Yeah. In 1995, he started the Laham Development Company, which was his desire to always be a developer, and he started that in 1995. The several developments that I'll refer to, I think that the one that he is the most proud of was the Bradley Fair, which was obviously that lifestyle center that was the first in Kansas and one of the first in the United States, and certainly one that is incredible that a young man his age could have put that deal together. Other developments that he has been involved in are the Wilson Estates, which is a 320-acre mixed-use development, the Plazio, which is at 13th and Greenwich, which is where the Warren Theater and all those other developments are, the Walsher Luxury Collection, which was formerly the Schofield Luxury Collection, which is the entire array of those luxuries from Mercedes to BMW to Porsche to Range Rover. Regency Lakes, which is a 400,000 square foot development at 21st and Greenwich. And then most recently, he's involved in a 202-unit apartment complex, the River Vista, which is on the west bank of the Arkansas River with some other partners. George is on the board of directors of Fidelity Bank. He is on the board of directors of the Kansas Cancer Society and likewise the Wichita Grand Opera. He and his beautiful wife, Jocelyn, have two great sons. It's my privilege to introduce George Laham.
Thank you. Thank you, Nestor. Well, there's some days it feels like a lifetime, and some days it feels like it was just yesterday. But no, I'm very, very honored to be here today, and can't tell you enough to the Wichita CCIM chapter of what it means to me to be honored today. So thank you for all those involved. Thank you very much, and Stan, thanks for all that you do for the chapter. And as I was thinking about today, I looked back to 1986 when I graduated from KU, and I wanted to come back to Wichita and work in commercial real estate. And I'd met Herb. I met Herb through a friend of mine at KU, and which eventually got me in touch with the general manager at JP Weigand. And so I met with the general manager and told him, I was going to get out of school in May and wanted to come work at the firm. And he says, well, so we're just not sure we have a position for you. And I'm like, well, okay. I'm coming to Wichita and I really need a job. And this kind of went on for a while. And so I finally asked him, I said, would it be possible could I meet Nestor? And he said, well, sure. So I come back down. I had a few interviews. I come down and Nestor was kind enough to see me. And so the general manager at the time, his name was Tom, but it wasn't Tom Johnson, it was another Tom. Tom came later, Tom Johnson came later. So I come down and do the interview with Tom, and he says, Nestor will be in to see you in just a minute. So, okay, thank you. So Nestor comes in, we talk for about 20 minutes, and don't talk about real estate, we talk a little bit about this and that. He leaves the room, says, well, nice to see you. I said, well, thank you. Tom comes back in and says, congratulations, welcome to Weigand. I said, oh, great, well, thank you. Well, come to find out what Nestor said on the way out the door, kind of echoing what he said earlier, was Tom walks out and says, Tom, I don't think the kid's old enough to shave, but hire him. Speaking of Nestor, really, Herb and Nestor have done so much for my career and have been such an influence, not only my career, but my life. So special thank you to both of them. And really, I started the development company in 1995, and when I went to go tell Nestor, I said, Nestor, it's been 9 years I've been here, and thanks, and I'm gonna go do this development company thing and get an office out east, but I always want to stay close to the company, always want the company to represent Laham Development on my deals. I said, George, that's great, good luck, everything sounds fine, but one thing. And I said, what's that? And he goes, you're not leaving the building. And today, Laham Development still offices at 150 North Market at JP Weigand. I want to talk just real quickly about CCIM, what it means to me. In the late 80s, when I got out of school, I would always go to Herb for advice. And with Herb, education is everything. And so when we talked about what I needed to be doing, he says, you have to take the CCIM courses. It wasn't an option. He said, either take the courses or get out of the business. It's that simple. That's how strongly he impressed upon me. And when Herb impresses upon you, he can impress. And so they were a little expensive at the time, as I think they still are today, but well worthwhile. But it took me 5 years to do it because I could only afford to do so many in a year. So it took me 5 years to get my CCIM. And I will tell you, it's nice to see the honorees up here today for the recipients of the award. But I got to tell you, I think I finally got my CCIM in 1992 after taking the 5 classes and doing the final. That's back when the final used to be like an 8-hour deal. So you guys get off easy today with that 4-hour thing. So anyway, but I got to tell you, the tools that I learned from CCIM really helped me so much in my career and continues to help me today. So I just think if you're going to be in this industry, I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to have those courses available and what it can do for your business. Just a couple of points along the way in my lifetime. I feel like I need to retire or something. It's a lifetime achievement deal. So anyway, it's all yours. Here's my phone. In 1995, when we started Laham Development, one of the first things that we did is went and made a deal with the Wilson family to buy Wilson Estates, and that was kind of the impetus for the company, and really is where we started. So when we started developing Wilson Estates, we had started Bradley Fair already in 1990, continued to expand it, and then brought Ritchie's in to do the residential. Paul Jackson came in and did the office park and did a wonderful job with it. So we really had good partners in developing Wilson Estates. And as we moved it forward, was looking ahead and saying, where do we go next? Once things were kind of in motion, and that's when we went out to 13th and Greenwich, 21st and Greenwich, 21st and Andover, and that was all in the 1997, 1998. Started developing, and one thing about being a dirt speculator in Wichita, Kansas, don't ever sell your tractor. While we've gotten through a lot of it, a lot of the ground at 21st and Greenwich and 13th and Greenwich, we still have ground, and we're still moving through it. So that's kind of been the basis for the company for the last 20 years, and there's still a ways to go in East Wichita with what we're doing, but we're looking ahead. As Nestor mentioned earlier, we decided to join the downtown renaissance. I know what Dave Burke started over 20 years ago with Old Town, and today downtown has a great spirit. It's got a really great vibe. We decided to get involved with Dave and others in the River Vista project, which is going to open when? In May. Didn't say what year. But yes, it's going to open in May. And anyway, we're proud of River Vista. We think that it's certainly changed the landscape of downtown and can kind of show us as a city what our downtown can look like, what else that we can do on the river. So we're working hard to do it right and to really set the bar for other things to happen along the river. So we're looking forward to getting it open, as I think everybody else is as well. But again, great time to be in Wichita. As I mentioned, there's just a great spirit. And I was born and raised here, and I think many of you can agree that really it's about as good a spirit and momentum as we've really had in this town, is what we're experiencing right now. And it's the Innovation Campus, it's downtown, it's Cargill, it's Spirit, it's just so many good things. And I think that, that vibe is also, it carries over to some of the things that need to happen. We talk about job growth and we want jobs in this community, but there's so much competition among cities these days for jobs, and we've got to create, and we are creating, a city that's desirable and that companies want to move here, and part of that is lifestyle. They've got to want to live here because we offer the entertainment and the services, and the retail, and have a vibrant downtown that people want to be a part of. And I think we're going the right direction. I think we're kind of at a defining moment. I think we really are. And what we're going to do with this spirit and this momentum is really up to us, and particularly us as commercial real estate industry, because we do have a lot to do with shaping this community. So city leadership is important, but it's really people like us in our industry are the ones that can shape the vision and make it happen. I kind of look at the river and what we did at River Vista, what Dave has done in Old Town, and I kind of look at Wilson Estates back in 1995 when it was just a horse farm, and said, let's create a vision for it and see what we can make out of it. And I kind of look at parts of downtown and the river today as we looked at River Vista and said, what can we take this dirt, great dirt on the banks of the Arkansas River, what can we do, and what can we do to create something special? And I think with River Vista, I think that we're going to kind of, again, like I said, set the bar for other things to happen. The city has plenty of opportunities ahead of it with Century 2, the Convention Center. I think Delano has a lot to offer this community, and I think it's the up-and-coming area of downtown. Of course, Lawrence Dumont Stadium, there's work to be done there, but we're looking forward to the city's efforts in bringing a ball club to Wichita and continued riverfront development. There's plenty of development to be done with all the projects that we just talked about. I think if you look at them all and you add them up, there's probably $1 billion worth of development, both private and public, that need to occur in this community in the next 10 years. $1 billion. If we want to take the city forward, and I think we talk about the spirit and this momentum, we've got the opportunity to do it. But we as a community, we as the commercial real estate industry, got to be the ones that get behind this. The city is here to support, but it takes leadership from all of us to move it ahead. It's the entrepreneurial spirit that built this community, and I believe it's the entrepreneurial spirit that's created kind of this rebirth and will carry us forward. Well, again, I just want to talk a little bit about Wichita, where I think we are. I think we're in a great place. Again, I want to thank all of you for this award today, and I promised I'd keep it short and sweet, like me. And while it is a lifetime achievement, there is still a lot to do, and we plan to be a part of it, as I know all of you do in the city as well. Thank you.
Well, George, don't take a seat yet, because we are now at the final moment here where we actually confer to you the actual award itself.
Hi, Stan, I want to say one thing.
Well, Herb always gets to say one thing.
Maybe, I don't know, my avocation is mentoring young people. And believe it or not, there's 2 or 3 or 4 people here in this room that I've mentored. And so George, to be honest with you, is my superstar of everybody I've ever mentored. But he has come to me, on a lot of the decisions he made, he would come to me and I would bless them. Now, what he didn't understand, that he never did a bad deal. So our success rate was unbelievable. He attributes that to me, and really the fact that he knew how to make deals. But the funniest of my entire life is George is, let's say, 35 to 40 years old. He comes to me and he says, Herb, I got $6 million in cash. I want to know what you think I ought to do with it. He said, what I want to do, he said, I want to go buy 2 Walgreens, and I'll have, 60, whatever thousand, what is that? 600,000 a year income for the rest of my life. I could retire. I looked at him, I said, George, you are the dumbest son of a bitch I've ever met in my life. And he says, well, why? I said, George, what business are you? He said, I'm in the development business. I said, what do you need to develop? Land. I said, why don't you go buy $6 million of land in key locations? And the locations he mentioned? He went and bought them. He's done well. God bless him.
Every year, we have a committee that gets together with the CCIM chapter to discuss and to select each year's honoree. And I can't tell you how many years George's name has been on that list. And every year, people say, well, he can't get a Lifetime Achievement Award. He's too young. And this year, we came through and we looked at, we said, this is ridiculous. If this is all he ever does, this is work that certainly merits the impact that he's had on our community, the impact that he has at the university and the role that he plays. He's not even a shocker by pedigree, but boy, he commits and he gives to us at Wichita State and gives. This is a little story. I had students who were involved in a development class one time, and they were given a parcel of ground. Actually, it was out at 21st and Greenwich before there was anything at 21st and Greenwich. I think maybe Target had just opened there. And one of the students had the gumption to call up George and say, hey, we're working on a project and wondered if we could chat with you. And George said, well, no, I don't have time to do that right now. But tell you what, how many of you? 4 of you? Great. Here's my address. Come over to my house Saturday morning. I'll make you breakfast, and we can sit down and talk about your project. And that's the kind of way that he invests in people himself. And so it was very clear that he was an unquestioned recipient for the Lifetime Achievement Award. And the kicker this year, as I said, if we go back, and Dave, I see you there, and one of our past Lifetime Achievement Award recipients, I said, if you go and you take that signature project that George had with Bradley Fair and then everything that follows, it's been as many years since he began that project as it was for David when you had begun Old Town to when you received the Lifetime Achievement Award. And so now the question that we have for George, and I think the gauntlet has been thrown down for you, is will you become our first 2-time Lifetime Achievement Award winner when you come back and you've completed all the future projects that we have yet to imagine, but I'm sure are in your mind. And so with that, it is my great privilege to present to George Laham the 2017 Kansas CCIM Chapter and WSU Center for Real Estate Lifetime Achievement Award. As always, we try and choose something that is an original work of art for an original work of art. And so once again, this was an idea that Rod Stewart came up with to have a piece of card art class with us. So we're very pleased to present this to you. And with that, I thank you so much for joining us out here at Wichita State University. I pray you all have a wonderful and blessed holiday, and we are adjourned. Thank you.